Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Grounded Conversations. For those who don't know, I'm Liv. I hope everybody has had such an amazing Christmas and an amazing start of the year. This is our first episode back for 2026, which I'm really, really excited for. And we're already 20 days into January when I'm filming this, which has gone by really, really quickly. Like, it literally feels like New Year's was yesterday, which, it kind of was. It wasn't that long ago, but still. And I think because it has been going quite quickly, it can feel like the year is already running away from us, which is scary when everybody's setting goals for the new year and New Year resolutions. Feeling like the year's already sort of like going by really quickly can be a lot, and it can be quite pressuring, especially in terms of goals and setting New Year's resolutions, because we feel like we sort of have to be already on it and already being this completely new person that everybody wants to be by the time January starts. That's not realistic. And I think we can put such a big pressure on ourselves to already have clarity straight away and be more productive and to sort of have a glow up in a way by the time January hits, because it's like new year, new me, and all these other terms we hear literally everywhere. And I think we can set such big unrealistic expectations to do everything and fix everything now and do everything straight away and be a completely different person, when actually that's not how it works. And I think we have to turn our goals into something that are more realistic and are more achievable, rather than what goals usually tend to be, which is sort of very aspirational, which isn't a bad thing. I do think it's important to be ambitious. But I think when you're setting goals for the year, being quite ambitious and being quite aspirational can be quite overwhelming, and we can often find our worth in our goals. So then when they're too aspirational to the point we can't achieve them, it can make us feel like less and make us feel like we're not enough. So I think we really have to consider the goals that we are making for the year and how realistic they are for us to achieve and how we're going to achieve them, which is a big focus of today's episode, actually. Because I think a lot of the time, I know I do this a lot especially, we can compare our lives and the timeline of our lives to others, and we can look at our life and be like, oh, well, I'm not doing XYZ, but so and so does this so easily, when actually you're probably doing something amazing that they haven't even thought about yet, or that they're like, I don't want to say behind on, because it's everybody's different journey. But I think it's so easy to compare what we don't have and what we're not doing to what other people are. And it can make what other people are doing look so easy and look so ahead of us and ahead of ourselves. That it's so easy to compare ourselves and compare the timeline we're on to others if we don't take a step back and think, oh, actually, I'm quite good at doing this thing and that, but I still want to improve this thing. And it's important to focus on where you are in your life and where you're getting to and how you're going to get there, rather than comparing it to somebody else who has lived a completely different life and is on a completely different journey to you. Because I think a good way to put this is, let's say this isn't my analogy, by the way, I have seen this on TikTok, but I can't remember who said it. Anyways, I think a good analogy is, imagine you're in a designer store. Everything in the store is made by the designer, whatever you believe in. You could be on the shop floor looking at the designer things, just pick up a pre-made item off the shelf and go with it. Okay, whatever. Or you could ask the designer, the creator of all these beautiful items and all these beautiful things in the shop, to make your own item, especially personalised to you and especially custom just to you and what you need and what you like and what you want. However, there's loads of other people that have also gone to the same designer asking for different things custom to them. And because it's customed to what you've asked for, yours might take 6 weeks, whereas somebody else's item might take 2 weeks or 2 days or a year. And because it's customized especially to you and especially to what you want, the amount of time that takes and the amount of effort that takes is especially accustomed to you and your life and what you want. And I think we can imagine our lives as being these items as well, and things we want in our lives as these items too, whether you believe in God or the universe or whatever you go and ask for from this world, like whatever you believe created it. Imagine, let's use God in the scenario. You could go to God praying for a partner or your dream job or whatever you want, while looking at other people who have seemingly achieved their dream things out of that. And you might compare yourself like, oh, well, they got theirs in 2 days, they got theirs in 2 weeks. Why is mine taking so long? Why is mine taking so long? Am I not good enough? Is mine not special? Actually, yours is just as especially made and especially designed just as theirs is. However, yours might take a little bit longer to make because it's suited to you. And it has to make sure it fits you and fits your life by the time you're given it. And I think it's important to remember that it's okay to be patient. It's important to be patient to make sure that what as doesn't leave us. Because if we're too wrapped up in what we want and what we don't have, we can sort of lose the joy that we're feeling in the moment because we're too wrapped up in everything else that's going on and what everybody else has and what everybody else is doing, that we forget what's ours and what we enjoy out of life and what we actually want. I think it's important to recognise that actually I'm happy where I am and I'm happy waiting for the thing that's meant for me in life. And that's completely okay. But I think if we set unrealistic goals that our designer item is going to be made in a day, we're not going to get it that quickly, are we? And it's probably going to take longer. So if you're patient and just enjoy life, I think it sort of takes the pressure off it a bit. And I think we have to reframe our goals as well. We have to reframe our goals as well for the year. From what do I need to achieve to who do I actually want to be while trying. And I think a way that, especially towards the end of last year, I was thinking about my life. Rather than thinking, I want this podcast to be in the top 10 podcasts in the world, obviously still do. But rather than focusing on needing to achieve that goal, I instead try to focus on who I am as a person, because I'd rather be a kind human being than famous. Like, I'd rather be a good, decent person than needing to achieve all these big aspirations in life. And I think it's important to focus on who you are, what you believe in, who you want to be in life, and the type of person you are, than the things you want to achieve. And I think you should use your goals as a direction of becoming that person, rather than deadlines of, oh, I need to achieve this by the end of the year, I need to achieve this by the end of this week, by the end of this month. I think instead you should focus on, actually, I want to be hardworking, I want to be a kind, loving, generous person, rather than I want to be rich, I want to be famous. Obviously, good goals to have, and it is good to be aspirational. I think you should focus on who you are as your goal, because then actually, if you wake up every day thinking, how can I be a better person today, rather than how can I achieve this goal within a week today, or achieve this thing by the end of the day, we'll actually find so much more fulfillment out of life and get so much more out of it. And it's okay if your goals change as well. It's okay if, like, at some point during the year or the month you think, actually, I'm not that bothered about achieving that dream anymore. I'd rather change to this direction, or change to achieve something else. That's completely okay, completely normal to do. And you don't need to pressure yourself into staying and keeping the same dream, because it is going to change. You might as well do what makes you happy and change when you realise you want to, then keep being miserable and everything else. I think you should let your goals be flexible, because that's quite human. Give yourself grace and let your goals be able to change and adapt to who you are and what you're doing and what you're enjoying at that time in life. And I think change your mindset on it a bit as well. So instead of having a goal of, I want to be more consistent, build systems around you that help you be more consistent. Like, I don't know if this is going to be a good example, but you're just going to roll with it. Like, let's say you didn't clean your teeth. Obviously, everybody does. This is a very, very basic analogy. But if you wanted to be more consistent with cleaning your teeth, you wouldn't, like, leave your toothbrush in, like, your living room, or, like, just away in the cupboard. You'd put it right by your sink, so every day when you go and you're getting ready in the morning, your toothbrush is already where it needs to be to clean your teeth and to achieve that thing. That's something that helps me, being, like, consistent and not going on my phone in the morning, which is something I actually need to start doing this more. But I will charge my phone at night away from my bed, so when I wake up in the morning, I end up reaching for a book or a glass of water or something, rather than scrolling on my phone first thing in the morning, because I don't think that's healthy. But I do think that if you help yourself and you set up systems and build your whole environment around you to help you achieve your goals and everything, it actually helps you be more disciplined as well. And I think there is a big focus at the moment, especially online, of the importance of discipline. I do think it is very important, because you have to be disciplined to achieve basically anything to an extent. But there is a difference between being disciplined and doing things that actually harm you. Because you could say, oh, I'm disciplined, I do work for 8 hours every day, but those 8 hours are you doing work from the hours of like 9 p.m. till like past 12, when as much as that's good, you're getting your shit done, you also need to sleep, and that actually harms you rather than helping you. So just keep in mind with things that if you are pushing yourself to complete certain things or complete certain goals and to be disciplined, that you're also looking after yourself and drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, just basic human things, because trust me, they are more important than people give them credit for, actually. And I think we also think at times that we have to be hard on ourselves in order to grow, in order to achieve things. And I do get, like, from somebody that loves to listen to like motivation videos, that's like mostly random men being like, get up, go do work, get something. Obviously they sound a little bit more scary than that. But from somebody that does listen to like motivational things that are like literally like men hyping themselves up, because honestly it does actually work. Just listening to random people be like, you've got this, trust me, don't hate on it until you try it. But I think, especially from that, we think we have to be hard on ourselves to grow and to achieve things, but actually we don't. We can be a lot more gentler to ourselves and be a lot more loving to ourselves than we think. And I think progress sticks better when you trust yourself. And I think rather than being harsh on yourself in ways that are harmful, be harsh in how you trust yourself. For instance, if you say to yourself, I'm going to wake up at 10 o'clock and get out of bed at 10 o'clock, actually do it. Because if you're not keeping promises to yourself, you're not trusting yourself, and it makes you doubt yourself and doubt the amount you can achieve, the amount you can do. Whereas if you say, oh, I'm going to wake up at 10, get out of bed at 10, do this, and you actually do it, you'll build up so much more self-trust and so much more confidence that you will wake up every morning like, yeah, I can go out and complete that because I did what I said yesterday, so why can't I now do this other thing I said I'm going to do? Like, you've got this. Trust me, how you talk to yourself is so important. So yeah, think about that as well. Do you talk to yourself how you talk to a friend? Like, if a friend was going through the same situation, would you be stood there hyping them up, or would you be stood there like, oh, you're only doing that amount? What? No, you'd be stood there like, come on, you've got this. You can go, you can achieve that. Come on, you can do whatever you fucking want to do. So yeah, consider how you talk to yourself, because it is also more important than you think. I was thinking about in the previous episode too, so if you haven't listened to that, go back to listen to it. The things that I want to leave in 2025 and the things that I want to bring into 2026. And I think one of the biggest things I want to leave in last year is comparing myself to others, because as I said before, I am on my own journey. I am creating my own life that is so custom to me that I shouldn't be comparing myself to what other people are doing, and I shouldn't think less of myself because I think other people are ahead of me at something, because that doesn't mean I'm not as good or I'm doing worse than other people. It just means I'm on my own path, and that's completely okay. And I think I need to be more patient as well this year and just take things a bit more slower and consider whether things are actually making me happy or not. Because I think I do put a lot of pressure on myself to complete so many things within a certain timeline, where actually, if I take a step back, I'm like, actually, no human being can complete that much in the time period you're giving yourself. So give yourself grace, and if you don't complete it, that's fine. Yeah, I think I need to slow down, take a breath, and just do things that I genuinely enjoy. A big non-negotiable for me this year is to just do things that make me happy. There's no point surrounding myself with people that make me miserable or things that make me unhappy or anything else, because at the end of the day, you only live once. If you're not happy, if you're not enjoying yourself, what's the point? So just go out, make sure you're being happy, focus on the things that make you happy. And because I've realised as well, especially while being at uni last year, like the start of uni, I realised the amount of time I was actually spending in my flat, which you guys can see beautifully behind me. So like there's fairy lights in here though, to be fair. Put them up like 2 days ago. Anyways, but I think I realised that actually I really enjoy going on walks, and it's hard because I am like right in the middle of a city centre. So there isn't many places to go on like proper walks. I think I do need to get out more and just go on walks random places, because it puts me in such a better mindset and just makes me feel better overall. So that's one thing I'm going to try to start doing more this year, to the point, literally, second I start recording this, I'm going to go on a walk. I think last year, and I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, I didn't really read anything last year, because I do really enjoy reading. But I think because I was so caught up in exams and everything else, I just genuinely didn't have the time to, especially when I was revising for my A-levels. Because by the time I'd finished, like, reading to revise, I didn't want to read for fun. It just took all the enjoyment out for me. And I think I was thinking at the end of last year, I was like, oh, I'm so annoyed at myself that I didn't read as many books as I wanted to. But actually, I should be proud of myself that I had completed my A-levels while doing a job and while doing this podcast all at the same time. So while I didn't have time to read as much as I wanted to, I still completed so many amazing things I should be proud of. So I think this year, because I do have less going on, I do want to take time to read more and just take time to, before bed, read a chapter before bed rather than going on my phone and watching TV, and just prioritising reading, because I do really enjoy it, especially because I need to read my favourite author, Sarah Adams, released a new book of her When in Rome series at the start of January, but I'm on the book before that one, so I really want to finish reading that book so I can read her new one. So yeah, I think that's I just think as a whole, we just need to, everybody needs to be a bit more gentle on themselves this year and write your goals in pencil, not in pen. It's okay if they change. It's okay if you want to rip them out, get rid of it, change them, bring a new goal in, anything else. It's okay to check, rather than checking in daily or weekly, have I completed this goal for the year today? Maybe check in monthly and see how far ahead you are at completing your goal. Like in one of my notebooks, I wrote down like a bingo board of all the goals I want to achieve this year. I made a vision board as well, because I actually love vision boards. And I also wrote in this book all the months of the year, and I wrote what I aim to achieve at the end of each month. Because at the start of the year, rather than thinking like, I want to make a short film this year, but that's a very big goal to just throw out there, I've instead written down, okay, so in January I'm going to come up with the first idea for plot. February I'm going to have all the plot points written down. By March I'm going to start writing it, and just stuff like that. So rather than it being like this massive project, it's splitting down the year, so it's a lot more achievable. And just think, when you are setting goals and when you are setting of what you want to achieve the year, just ask yourself, does this support my life and who I want to be as a person and the things I want to achieve? Or does it go against it? And if you don't know where to start for goals for the year, I mean, you don't need to set them. You're okay with just being how you are. But I do recommend, because I just like having things to set me the direction of what I want to achieve, and seeing at the end of the year, reflecting on what I have and how I achieved. But as a start, pick one thing you want to focus on this year, one habit you want to develop or build or start doing, and one feeling you want to focus on for the year, and think about how you can get more of it 2026. So for me, my focus for the year, honestly, would probably be this podcast or uni. One habit, reading more, and then one feeling, to be happier. And just keep in mind as well, you're not behind everybody else. You're on your own journey, living your own life that's completely made for you and completely built by you. You're in control of it. And the year isn't a race. You're not ahead or behind anybody else. You're on your own path. And you're allowed to want more. You're allowed to want more out of your life, and you're allowed to set goals and aim for the moon and the stars and go for it. Like, literally, you've got this. Set aspirational goals and literally run for them. But just be gentle to yourself while doing that. And just keep in mind how you are feeling and how you are mentally and physically, because your health and your happiness and everything else is the most important thing over everything else in this world. So I think that's it for this episode. Thank you all so much for listening. I will see you all very, very soon.